Oh, crap. Okay. Look at that. That's, looks like it's only water. There's the oil. So if you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it and consider subscribing if these are the kinds of insane projects you all like to see. This, if you're not familiar, is my 2015 McLaren P1. It was in a major flood from a very big hurricane, and in the last episode, we went over everything wrong with it, and we took off the clamshell to see if everything back here was usable, and today we're gonna find out if this engine is actually good. This engine is about $100,000 if it was in any other McLaren, but in this car, it's somewhere like $500,000. Right now, before we go into the engine, we have to make sure that all this sand and dirt and glass, there's a lot of glass, we have to make sure that that is all dealt with. So we're gonna clean this up first, and then we can go into this engine and see if there's any water in it. I'm gonna need a lot of fingers crossed and well wishes, and you know what? Pray for me. Pray for me. We have an opportunity here to check out the top end of the engine, and we still are gonna check out the bottom of the engine, but we can figure out if there's been any water ingress into the throttle body. So there's two throttle bodies here, and these are the intercoolers. So we take these out. Oh, dude. Dude, come look at this.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty clean.
That looks spotless.
That's like a...
There's nothing there. Looks fantastic. All right, let's check the other side.
Small victories.
Yep. That looks totally okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks great.
Same thing here.
How does it look?
Yeah, that looks good. Perfect.
Awesome.
So
that's not the end of the story though, because I think we should take off the throttle body, probably put a borescope in there and see if there's any water intrusion, because then we can realistically see into the cylinders.
So if it's good, then we just fire it up, right?
Yep, I have a very long borescope little camera that you can fit in small places. We have our intake manifold right here. I'm gonna put it in the first available cylinder hole, and has to find its way. It's a little violent right now, but check that out. That is the top of a valve, and that looks absolutely spotless.
Clean.
Looks really clean. Now it doesn't tell us what the cylinder actually looks like, but you can see that there's the injector right here. Injector looks fine, and since the injector's been working, it actually cleans this part of the intake manifold. So it is a very kind of old school fuel injection method. It's not like direct injection or anything. So let's try the next one over. That one we'll be able to see into the cylinder. Oh, take a look at that. So this engine is brand new. It has 300 miles on it, so it hasn't even been broken in. You can see the crosshatch right there. There's a little bit of this kind of up and down scoring, but I'm not super concerned about that, mainly because you can see the crosshatch behind it, and there's just some gunk and stuff in there. So this may be just from running it. Definitely no signs of water intrusion or anything like that. There's no signs of rust, and it looks actually very good. And this is the same story. This is pretty clean. Can't see into the cylinder, but it still bodes well. I am gonna have to take off a spark plug or two and just make sure that there's no water intrusion.
So that's been like small victories. I think this is a huge...
This is a really big victory.
It's a huge victory.
That is a huge victory.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Go team!
All right, so we're gonna check the other side. Now check this out. Look at this. Look. Come and check this out. So going into the intake manifold, check out the cylinder. And that looks pretty good.
She's clean.
It's clean. Now I can't see, yeah, it's a little bit of oil. Now that right there is a little bit of schmutz. It's hard to see.
Yeah, you see it right there.
Yeah, that looks, well, yeah, right there. You can see that it's,
that looks like the top of the piston.
that's the top of the piston, yeah. Honestly, this is looking really good. Like I don't know. I'm really excited that this engine could potentially be good and drivable, and all we need is a battery, and we could like start this thing up.
I'm ready to squeal like a little girl when the wheels break loose. Okay.
Well, that's going to be a long way. We still look how much stuff is here. Like
there is. You would be surprised.
So much stuff.
We have already filled pretty much the top tray on that bolt tray to organize.
And we haven't
with just this.
We haven't even started. We haven't even begun to work. Okay.
Let's get the top off.
What? You guys didn't see what Jack just did. Probably best you didn't. She's a little dusty. What's interesting about doing spark plugs on a McLaren is that you essentially have to assemble the socket and the extensions one by one in the hole because you don't have enough room because you have this giant bar in the way. And I believe the socket that I got is not the right one. So we're gonna take that out and replace it with the right one. And the coil packs, fun fact, are the same as I believe a Nissan Sentra or a Nissan Versa. So this says made in China. Oh boy. All right, everyone, I'm gonna show you how to remove spark plugs from a car that may have water in it. So take out the coil pack and immediately realize that the coil pack is wet. So take a look at that. That guy's wet. It's not good. That's not good. I was gonna say but that's just not good. I think this is just water leaking past the seal and then filling the chamber, but inside where the spark plug lives, I don't think there's any actual water in there, or at least if there is, it would have gone back through the exhaust, into the exhaust valves, and into the cylinder where it honestly could have evaporated and just left behind some salt crystals. So I'm not super worried about that. We are gonna try to get some of that water out. So we are going to use our leaky boy right here. This one, it leaks a bit. Watch the magic happen. When we introduce air to the spark plug hole. It's exfoliate. Oh my! That's a smell. Does it smell like the ocean? See, what's good about having a car with 300 miles on it is that it doesn't have anything on the engine that wasn't put on by the factory. So those are the factory spark plugs, meaning that we can just take those out and they're going to be torqued to spec, at least they should be. So this is why McLaren charges a lot of money for their spark plugs on a P1, because you have to take the entire rear end of the car, all the body work, and then even then it's hard to get to them. How you doing, Jack? You all right?
I'm good.
Are you excited about this? You know, starting up and running and having 903 horsepower?
Hey, if 797 makes me squeal like a little girl,
yeah,
903 is gonna definitely make me squeal like a little girl.
Make you poop your pants. Get the spark plug out, and she looks pretty good. She looks all right. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And now we shall look into the hole. I should have gotten the one with a slightly shorter lead because there's a lot here, let me tell you. There we go. Okay. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, yummy.
Ooh. So that, I think, is seafoam.
That looks gross.
That looks really nasty. So there's a little bit of water in that cylinder. But what we're looking for is over here on the crosshatch. Now what's cool about this guy, this little borescope, is that I can press a button and then it'll tell me on the side what's going on. Look at that! Ooh!
Okay. Not terrible.
No, it's not bad at all.
No rust.
No, it's just, I think this is bacteria, man. I think that's just nasty, nasty bacteria.
Yeah.
So if we spin it around, look at that. Oh my goodness. And that's all like carbon and black nastiness.
Yeah.
And then if we go even further, let's see if I can go into it. Into the no. Like I'm hitting the top of the piston there, so it's not like it's not deep or anything. That almost looks like there's eyes or something looking at me.
Yeah, that's gross.
No, that's just bubbles. This is bacteria, and this is mold, and ultimately, it's not anything bad. This just needs a really, really good flush. So I'm gonna do the rest of the cylinders, and then we're gonna flush this engine and not touch any of that, because that's gross.
I'm standing in the opposite direction whenever we go to pump that out.
Yeah, that's really nasty.
It's gonna be nasty.
Ooh, that's the top of the cylinder. Let's spin this guy around. Ooh, that's black. That's nasty. So, let's see what the actual top of the cylinder looks like. Woo-hoo-hoo! It's foamy. It's like a good beer. Jack, would you drink that?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Oh, come on, look at it. It's so warm and inviting.
That's like the new bartender that doesn't know how to pour a beer and then brings you the beer.
That is all kinds of nasty. That's real crap.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some Marvel Mystery Oil, which is, like Derek from Vice Grip Garage says, it's a mystery. They don't know what's in this. But we actually tested this on some of the bacteria growth underneath the car, and this actually breaks it up pretty good. And I know that this also lubricates the cylinders. We're gonna leave this in each of the cylinders for about 2 to 3 days, and then see what we come up with, because the last thing I wanna do is try to turn this engine over manually, and then this stuff is like rock hard, and then it leaves a valve open, and then I bend a valve. That's not good.
No.
Also, I don't want this stuff just becoming jello and going all over the place, so hopefully this will make it nice and dissolved, and then we put some distilled water or something maybe solvent-based in there, it dissolves, and then we rotate it by hand, it comes out, and then I have a nice clean engine that I can now start. So we have created a contraption here, and this goes all the way down to Funky Town. Ooh, that made like a noise, didn't it?
Yeah,
It made a noise. It's like dissolving. You know what it smells like?
Mystery?
No, it smells like Dr. Pepper.
It does.
Yeah. Don't drink it. Don't drink it's not gonna be a mystery why you're in the hospital if you drink this. So I'm on a second cylinder and I'm almost out. So we should probably get more of this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we are gonna let that Marvel Mystery Oil sit for a little bit, but now I need to think about lunch. And if you're like me and you're working on a car, then you probably eat takeout a lot. I do takeout and delivery almost every day, and I need to cut back on that. Number one, because it's very expensive and I need to save as much money as I can for this project. And two, there are a ton of calories in takeout, and thankfully, those two problems are solved with today's sponsor, Factor. Now, Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs and registered dietitians work hand in hand to create meals from scratch using ingredients with integrity. Now, if you're like me and you want to cut back on takeout, not only is Factor cheaper than takeout, but meals are ready way faster than restaurant delivery, typically 2 minutes. And with 34 plus chef-prepared, dietitian-approved weekly options, there's always something new to try. Plus, you can round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons, including breakfast items like egg bites, smoothies, and more. And they have a ton of nutritious options like this mango smoothie that tastes awesome, and if you're a snacker like me, pretty essential in the shop. So head to factor75.com or click the link in the video description and use the code Tavarish50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. That's factor75.com and use the code Tavarish50. Go check it out right now. All right, so it is a few days later and I am ready to try to see if this engine rotates. I think it will, but we're gonna go very, very slowly. But before we do that, this is all filthy. I don't want to move anything around and have stuff fall into the cylinders or fall onto me. So I'm gonna get that out of the way first, and I'm gonna clean all this as much as I can because this stuff is nasty. It's pretty simple. Just get some compressed air and hope for the best. If any of you have like OCD or are generally neat freaks or like to be clean, you might want to skip this part because this is going to get very, very dirty. Alright, so we cleaned up quite a bit. Now, it is still pretty gross and grimy. I will have a solution for that in a coming episode, but at least I don't have as much stuff falling on me. I want to now drain the oil because I know that water probably got into the oil, and water and oil don't mix, and water usually goes to the bottom, so if we take this off and we see a bunch of water, that's not good. But it's also not the worst thing in the world because this is a dry sump engine. And what that means is that there's an oil tank here, and that oil tank feeds the engine, and the engine basically doesn't have any oil in it, or very, very little oil in it when it starts up. So this is going to have all the engine oil in it and hopefully not too much water. I don't know if you can see that right there. That's water, my friends. That's salt water. Nice. Okay. Water, water, water. Okay. Ow. On the bright side, the oil looks real good. Okay, maybe this one will be a little easier to see. This is one of the turbo drain lines. Oh, crap. Huh. So when I said no water, okay. Look at that. That's, looks like it's only water. There's the oil. So we're gonna have to flush this engine quite a bit. Now is the actual moment of truth. I'm going to put a ratchet on the crank pulley, which is right here, and there's about that much space between the crank pulley and the frame. Hopefully I can make this work. There we go. I just gotta get it onto the socket, which is gonna be impossible. Sweet, sweet. Also, now I think this is stuck. Sick. Okay, I think I got it on there. It's probably not the happiest thing in the world, but it's on there. So, if this turns, then we are good. I want to turn it by hand. I don't want to do any sort of power tools. I don't even know how that's possible because this car doesn't have a traditional starter, but we are gonna try to turn it by hand and see what happens. Huh. Okay. And here we go. Okay. That's somewhat good. It's moving. Okay. There we go. Oh, there we go. I heard something gurgling. Now the mystery oil is going to be coming down this way and making a giant mess. So look forward to that, maybe. There we go. There she blows. Oh, now it turns way easier. And now we... It is literally raining Marvel Mystery Oil. It smells like full Dr. Pepper. Oof. That was a... She's a squirter. Alright, so we are topside, and I am about to put this into the engine, and hopefully we don't see any bad carnage. I mean, it's not going to be super clean, but it'll be okay. Oh, take a look at that. So you can still see some of that slime, but right here, that's where the Marvel Mystery Oil is. But this has also come down quite a bit, so we can see if the cylinder walls are okay. So let's just check those out right now. Okay, you see the top of the valve. Top of the valve looks okay, and everything around here is just kind of dirty and carbony. But if you look at that, that is the crosshatch right there, and that's all our, I guess, salt and debris. But none of that is bad. This actually moved around quite a bit, and you can actually see where the piston stops right there, and there's no rust anywhere to be seen. It seems like it washed the cylinder wall pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you can see the crosshatch everywhere. Now, it's dirty because it needs to be cleaned out. We are going to clean it out quite a bit more. But if we look around, you can see there's some more of that algae, but nothing past that. So this cylinder was really bad. This came off. It looks gross. That looks so nasty. But I am super, super, super happy that none of this is bad. I mean, take a look at that crosshatch. That's 300 miles. Oh, boy. So I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch here, but I'm going to go ahead and call this good. I'm going to call that real good. Well, okay. That is a really good result. I am very, very happy. I'm very, very dirty, too. Turns out that deflooding a car, it's real dirty work. So in the next episode, I'm going to make this car a little bit easier to work on by degunkifying this entire thing. Number one, I want to make sure that I don't get any weird diseases from the mold and stuff on this car. And number two, I just want the car to look as if it cost $1 million when it was new. Now, I know some of the more technical people in the audience might be saying, well, if water came in the engine, it had to come in through here, through the exhaust. And that is correct. So we have to take off this exhaust. We have to take off the cats and the turbos, because the turbos, they have steel components inside them, and those are all going to be rusted. Those are going to be shot. I think we're going to need to rebuild them. Thankfully, these turbos aren't really that hard to rebuild, but it is going to be a tough thing to get these out, because as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of junk. It's 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag, and that is going to be coming up. But in the next episode, this is going to get cleaned up, and then hopefully we don't find anything that's going to cost me my entire life savings. Welcome everyone to hour 96 of removing this battery. Oh, wow, that's good. That's the relief that I feel when.
Did you just poop?
You know what, I didn't, but it kind of feels like I did.